What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 23rd day of September, and we have about 5 days and 10 hours left in this week here. I know it says 11 hours, but trust me, it's closer to 10. Where we are is at about 1 cent here, just above 1 cent. And where we are specific to the chart is right above this area where we consolidated before on this massive, massive downtrend. Where we consolidated here, the only area that we found significance was right here until we hit the low. And it happens to be the same area that we're finding significance at now. Now we can go below, and that's okay. We've done that before. There's other significance in this area, and if we look at this on a daily time frame, actually, we might see that, observe that a little bit better. You can see here that there was some turbulence here as well, of which we found support on as well. So I don't believe we are absolved of crossing into this zone, but I don't believe that we're going to cross through this zone. Does that make sense? I very much believe that we're going to hold support here pretty soon. Maybe we hold support here, but I would think that we go a little bit lower in correspondence with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets. But we'll see. You know, Bitcoin, it's possible Bitcoin could have found its low, but what we do over the next day or two now, that'll really determine it. And I think that we do have lower to go, but time will tell. We'll see. There's still a lot of longs out there. Looking at this here at about 1.07 cents right now, 10 hours left in the day. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went a little bit lower. Again, coming back to this fib here that we've been looking at really since April, high to low, it didn't really make sense to find support just above the 786. It didn't really make sense to me. But sometimes nonsensical things happen. At this point in time, I would think that not only do we return a little bit lower, but we probably go just below this low. Little fake out action, similar to what we did back here, right? Like a slightly lower low, and then we react in a positive way. We found support above the golden ratio. We went up higher and higher, came back down just for a little fake out, and that was the actual low. That was where we actually began to move higher. Where if we did the same thing here, it would be at the 786, and we would probably move higher from there as well. Hold on, you guys. Move higher from there as well. That would put us at about 0.099, and that's also where that white dotted line is, which is the base of that overall range that we consolidated at for about a month there, about a month and a half, maybe almost, yeah, like 2 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. So almost 2 months there, about a month and a half. It wouldn't be crazy at all. It'd be a very sensible area to find support. In fact, I don't even have this drawn at the bottom of the range. If we put it right here, that is even just below the 786. So 0099, 0096. If we were to go lower, and we can, it's fine. Don't be worried. Let's see. Let's look at this on a daily time frame. Or be worried. That's okay, but it's not going to help you. Being worried will not help you. From a low to a high. The 1272 is right there. The golden ratio is just above this area. You've got a lot of significance coming in that zone. I think that fib will provide some significance, but I think this one will provide even more. Let's just see low to high here. I'm going to delete this one so there's not so much noise overlaying it. Let's see. Come on. Want that one gone. There we go. Yeah, right below the 1414. You could very well find support, you guys, right there, just below 1 cent. I'm not even kidding. And if not, at the most, maybe we go down to about 009, 0087, but I doubt that we get too much lower than that. From there, we should have a rapid recovery. I would expect that we have a very similar reaction to what we had back here in the glory days, what we had back here in the glory days as well, where you have about a month's worth of price action that's erased in 3 days' time. You have about several months worth of price action that's erased in weeks' time, right? Just like 2 weeks' time. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if even by the end of September we were above the highs that we were at last week. And if not by the end of September, certainly going into October, we should be up at these areas and beyond. That's my expectation. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, zooming in a little bit. I think it's clear that we are moving lower. But actually, I don't know. That's actually maybe not true. Look at this. It's kind of like a inverse head and shoulders pattern, isn't it? Isn't it? And the RSI looks nice, but the not nice thing is that you have higher highs with lower highs here. I guess you have higher highs. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. It might not be an inverse head and shoulders. I like it as an inverse head. Let's pretend it is. Let's say that it is. Okay. What would that mean? That would mean that from the low to the high, we break out of this neckline. That'd mean that we move up to about 1.15 cents. So nothing crazy. Nothing crazy at all, right? But a little bit higher nonetheless. Maybe we move up there and then we move down. Let's just line this up with any fibs that might be relevant and just see if that makes sense. High to low. High to low here. Oh, yeah, right there at the 382. That could be it. So don't get excited if we move up to 1.5 cent first, okay? Or sorry, not 1.5. Wow, that might be nice. 1.5 cent. 1.15 cent. Don't get excited if we move up there. We'll probably reject and then come back down. We're just playing off this inverse head and shoulders on the short-term time frame. Typically inverse head and shoulders patterns work better over a longer period of time of formation, but I've been finding personally that these shorter term ones are much more reliable than the longer term ones. For whatever reason, that's how it's been lately. The stochastics do look a little bit bearish, but you're at a point where you could bounce and be bullish. You've done this before. You've bounced here. You've bounced here. You could bounce here, and that'd be bullish. The MACD is bearish, but you're pointed upwards. So, I mean, that's a point in your favor, I suppose. You could move up from here. But, again, if you do, don't get excited. If you don't move up, you continue to move down. Don't get discouraged. That's kind of the expectation at the moment. Looking at the 4-hour time frame here. We did get out of the oversold zone. We have an hour and 56 minutes left in this 4-hour time frame here. If we close here or higher, that would actually look kind of good. Set us up for a bounce off the oversold area. Stochastics look like they want to come up, but you also look like you're in a position where you're rejecting the oversold. There's good and bad things there. It depends on how this 4-hour time frame closes. If you can come up and close this 4-hour green in the next hour and 55 minutes, then sure, maybe you are moving up from here. But if you close it here or lower, I would think that we do go lower. But it depends. That inverse head and shoulders is real on the 1 hour. It might hold up, it might not. Time will tell. You're in a good posturing with the RSI. I mean, overall bearish right now, but good posturing being right above the oversold zone there. I like that. That typically could set you up for some pretty bullish reactions, right? It can set you up for some bullish stuff. Even back here, you did a similar thing. Still came back down, but that's not the point. What about this one? What about this relative fib? What are you doing here? Yeah. Yeah, even if you move up, man, I'm not going to be impressed. I think you still very much do have lower to go, and that's okay. Daily time frame here. By the way, you guys, OnyxCoin does have gaps. I forget. I want to say it's here and here. OnyxCoin has gaps at like 2 cents, 2.2 cents, something like that. So we are going to fill those gaps inevitably. I do believe that OnyxCoin will fill those gaps. It's a lower liquidity coin on Coinbase compared to a lot of different coins. It might be a less traded coin, so we get a little bit less consistency with the price, and there are gaps because of that. I'm looking at the daily time frame here. Lower lows in the RSI, rejecting the overbought zone. I remember saying it back here that this was not a good look, but we held the 50. That was nice. We didn't continue. We didn't persist. We rejected the 60. I was optimistic still. I really thought that we were on the verge of breaking out, but hey, whatever. We're down here. Stochastics. That's what someone said, that I don't admit when I'm wrong, but I just did it right there. But it's not a big deal, right? Have you ever been wrong before when predicting the projection of the price, right? It happens. It happens. I've been right before, and when I'm right, it's like, cool, whatever, nobody cares. Whenever I'm wrong, I treat it the same way. Because if I treat being right like it's this magnificent thing that's never happened before, and oh my God, I did it, I'm right, you were wrong, you hated me, but you're wrong, talking smack, I was right, eat that, then that means that whenever I'm wrong, I have to have that means that all that energy is the equivalent of what I would be feeling on the inside, but to the reverse effect, right? Like that, and that's just not it. You're gonna be wrong. You're gonna be right. It's not that cool. You know what is cool is making money. If you're making money, then you're doing it all right. And we're up net positive with OnyxCoin, absolutely. But getting to those points where things are definitely diminishing more than they have over the past few months, it's a prime time to buy. Somebody was asking if they should get out here, and I'm like, dude, why do you want to get out at the lows? Why do you want to get out at the high? Why did you want to get in at the highs? It doesn't make sense. You're doing it wrong, doing it backwards. Think about it like this. For anybody right now, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, okay? If you're thinking about getting out here, I'm going to ask you a question. Is it because you've lost faith in this project, or is it because you bought at a higher price, wherever that might be, wherever that might be? And the way that you answer this, truthfully, honestly, within yourself, is if you didn't buy at this price, let's pretend that you are the worst trader ever, or the worst investor ever, and you are the top. You bought the top here, and now you're feeling like selling. Which, by the way, you're like completely reversed there. You bought the high and you're selling the low, right? Let's pretend that you're this person, and you bought the high, and you're still holding, and now you're thinking about selling. If you didn't buy up here, if you had all your cash in hand right now, would you be looking at this and thinking, ha, glad I didn't buy that, I'm going to go buy something else? Maybe some of you might. But if you know about the fundamentals, if you've been following along with this, would you more likely look at it like, you know what, I'm going to allocate in now. This is actually a prime area to buy. And if the answer in your head is, this is a prime area to buy, if I didn't buy at these inconvenient times and I had cash on the side now to buy here, I would definitely be buying here. Then why the hell would you be selling, right? Why the hell are you selling? You're selling to somebody who's getting a prime opportunity if you're doing that. So just play that game with yourself. I oftentimes like to do that. Now if you're holding a coin and you're having that question, would I buy here if I didn't buy at the high? And the answer is no. I think this thing's a scam. I think it's going to zero. Then maybe sell. Maybe get out. It's never fun taking a loss, but sometimes it's what you have to do, and that's on you to do it. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm definitely not selling here. I would only look to buy more, if anything. I want to buy other cryptos, damn it. But OnyxCoin keeps offering itself at a discount. And I'm not even going to be happy with the bag that I have. So I need more. And then I still won't even be happy with it. You know what I mean? Looking at this on a daily time frame, though, the stochastics are bearish. The MACD is bearish. The RSI is bearish. We probably have days of downside to go. I don't care if we have a little bit of upside in between. We're probably going to come down a little bit, and then we'll move up, all right? I do expect, again, that once we move up, it will be at a terrific pace. This downtrend is it's a lot larger overall, but it's a lot less tenacious. It's a lot less high velocity than the last one was. I expect that this changing of momentum is going to reflect positively on the next move. We should see a bigger move than what we saw here, and maybe even something of the likes of what we saw here. Anticipating prices all the way up at 26 to 32 cents by the end of this next rally. And so that you know that I'm not just pulling these numbers out of thin air, let's pull them out of thin air here. From a low to a high, the 1886 and the 200 level, that's the 26 to 32 cent zone. We've made a lot of sense of this zone using other metrics besides just the fib, but we're going to keep it at that for now. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you're enjoying the video. I hope you did enjoy the video. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and just understand where we are. This isn't a pump and dump. The fundamentals, genuinely, the fundamentals for OnyxCoin are only more bullish now than they were back here. They're only more bullish now. It's turned into a whole different project, a better project. There's some things that the Dow votes for, or that proposes, and they get passed, or they don't get passed, that I wish didn't get passed or did get passed. But whatever, that's how a Dow works. You're not going to be happy 100% of the time. There was something that they were trying to pass, not the 40% staking, but there's something else. It's something with marketing, I want to say. And I'm assuming that the people who are in charge of the DAO, even though isn't that a little bit controversial in itself? A DAO is supposed to be decentralized. There's not supposed to be anybody in charge of it. But there are people who have larger accounts who do have the majority vote capabilities. Those people are probably going to get rewards through staking more, and I bet they use those rewards for marketing. I bet that's why I feel like this is a stair step of ideas that's happening. If not, maybe they get rewards through the token unlocks and they're going to use that instead. I don't know how it's going to work, but there's something. I want to look at it here because I feel like I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't. So let's fix that. Let's see. I do know what I'm talking about. I forget what it is that I'm talking about. No, not compound. Not compound. We're giving compound the benefit of the doubt. We're still holding, but let's see. No, 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 not that. Let's see. Not this one. Where is it? Where is it? How am I? Did I dream this? Did I dream something? Maybe I'm not reading it here. Hold on. Thrilled to announce the launch of V2 Onyx app. Get started. I thought that there was some kind of vote, another vote that was happening on the DAO. I don't see it here though. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making things up, you guys. Disregard that last part entirely. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Hit the like button, subscribe. I must have had a weird dream. Take care. Bye bye.